everyone, it's Alice and welcome to October's episode of Book Box Battle. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm apprehensive about filming today. So, Illumicrate won last month and they absolutely smashed it. It was like the best box of theirs that I'd ever received. I was over the moon. It was very exciting. And I'm excited to see what they do this month. I'm not sure if it's going to be as good as last month. And there's also an item missing from their October box because they have emailed subscribers to say that the paper craft designed by Rosie Thorns has been delayed. So if you are a US watcher, you will have received yours, but any UK subscribers aren't getting theirs until the November box. So I'm an item down on Illumicrate, and I've also seen some terrible things about FairyLoot this month so far, which seems unusual. But I've been seeing a lot of comments about the fact that it's not a very good box. So I'm trying to withhold judgment because I have no idea what's in it. It's just I've seen a lot of people saying, I'm not going to give spoilers, but I'm very disappointed. So I'm going to actually open FairyLoot first. However, there's also a reason for me to be apprehensive about OwlCrate because something in here doesn't sound very healthy. And I'm really hoping that there's nothing broken in there, because if there is, that will be the second item ever that I've had come broken in an OwlCrate box. But it just means I'm going into this with a whole load of apprehension, and I'm nervous. So without further ado, let us get on with it. I forgot to actually introduce the concept of Book Box Battle. I'm sure you've seen at least one of these so far, and if you haven't, we have a whole playlist collecting them all together, because next month it's actually going to be our 3-year anniversary of doing these? 2-year anniversary? 2-year anniversary of doing Book Box Battles is next month. So if you haven't watched any yet, you have a lot to catch up on. And if you haven't watched any yet, then welcome. I hope that you enjoy this. And I'm very scared. I'm going to open them up now. Let's get on with it. There's only so long I can blabble away to put off opening the boxes, right? Okay, so to start off with, we have the spoiler card. I always put these to the side and only refer to them if I need help working out the fandoms or letting you know who the artists are of the items, so I'll put that down. But the theme of the month for FairyLoot is Sell Your Soul. So we have some socks. We have some Raven socks by No One Designs. So I'm guessing these are going to be inspired by the Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I may be wrong, but I do love socks. So we have a raven sat on a tree, and then a moon, and some feathers. They're very thick. I do like FairyLoot socks, and I wear socks every single day, so they're definitely a useful item. And yes, these are Cameswater socks, so they are inspired by the Raven Boys, which is a series that I love, so I will definitely be repping those. And then we have, oh, another one of the little pop-up boxes. Okay, so they do these little pop-up storage box things that fold flat. So this is the second one that they've done. I will say it does have a very similar design to the first one, because the first one had the quotes in the centres and then like this kind of black starry pattern around the outside, but that's quite clearly inspired by Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, because it's got the frame around it like the cover. Heroes don't get happy endings, they give them to other people, and it's got the little foxes and the potions and the arrows, so that's very pretty. I haven't actually found a use for my first one yet, but I do like the fact that where these are a bit more stable, I feel like you can do a bit more with them. Illumicrate also do some storage bags, but they don't really have a structure, so it's hard to do something with them. But I like these ones more. I just need to find space to put them. These could be good little sock baskets, actually. And yes, this is inspired by Once Upon a Broken Heart and is designed by Blanca Design. So I'll store my socks in there just to prove that this would be a good stock storage device. Stock sock storage. There we go. Oh! What? We've got a paperback? Ooh! So you've got a paperback called Princess of Souls by Alexandra Christo. Is that the author of To Kill a Kingdom? Oh, it's signed. It might be a digital signature. Yes, it is. So this is a redesigned cover. It also has sprayed orange edges. Yes, To Kill a Kingdom and Into the Crooked Place are the two series that Alexandra Christo has written. I will read you the blurb for this one. I didn't realise this was a 2-book box. I'm really surprised that people are disappointed with this then, because 2-book boxes are normally the most popular ones. There are many who believe they can cheat death. When they fail, I take their souls. Every single one. Celestia is heir to a powerful magic. Locked away in a tower by a cruel king, her destiny is to foretell death and harvest doomed souls to feed his immortality. Nox is a soldier who has spent years plotting vengeance on the crown. Now he's determined to steal the king's immortality and kill the entirety of his court, starting with Celestia. But when Celestia and Nox's futures become entwined and death seeks both their souls, they're forced to put their trust in each other. Can they work together to escape their dark fate? A brand new adventure in the breathtaking fantasy world of TikTok sensation To Kill a Kingdom. Oh, so it's a companion novel. Okay, well, I haven't read To Kill a Kingdom yet. I'm interested in it. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, but this sounds really good. And I do like the orange sprayed edges. I think they work really nice where they've got the orange moons on the cover. And then we have an art print, which has a lady talking to a man, and it has some foiling on the print. I always like these prints that have like the very subtle foil on them. I'm guessing this is inspired by Howl's Moving Castle, because that looks like a big castle thing in the background. Yes, and this is by Grace Zoo Art and depicts Sophie and Howl. I've never read it, never seen it. I think it was a book originally, but I'm not that into Studio Ghibli. I know that's an unpopular opinion. So that's a cute item, but I'm not really getting any use out of that. And then it looks like we've just got the tarot cards left, so I can kind of see what people mean, because even though this is a 2-book box, this does feel quite light for a FairyLoot box. There doesn't seem to be all that much in here. And this month we have Temperance and The Judgment, which have these cute little moons and stars and little suns on them. And, oh my god, okay, that should have twigged and it didn't twig. It's Citra and Rowan from the Ark of the Side series by Neil Shusterman, which is one of my favourite series, and it really should have twigged that was who they were. And this is Temperance and The Judgment. So, happy with those. I really like Scythe, and I love Citra and Rowan. And then we're moving on to the book. So yeah, it does feel like a bit of a small month. Especially compared to some of the boxes they've done recently where they've had like more little bits. But I know they did say they were dropping an item to like save on shipping costs. I just didn't think that would mean that like they'd have like literally 3 items including an art print. But that's fine. So this month we have a lovely green book here. We have an author letter with an art print, which is designed by Mistletoe Art. As always, Sean will put all of the names and the ats on the screen, so if I'm pronouncing any of these terribly and you have no idea who I'm talking about, then you'll be able to tell. We've got the little fairy scoop, which we always have every month. And we have the book, which is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I will admit I have not heard of this. I like the dark green sprayed edges. I'm surprised that they haven't done more with it, because they've been doing a lot of stenciled and digitally sprayed edges recently. But simple is not always the worst thing. And this has art on the end papers, which is very gloomy and quite difficult to see, but hopefully you'll be able to get the effect. And then there's a different art at the back, which is also still very gloomy. Definitely feels like an October box because of all of the spookiness. Oh, we also have, hang on. Ooh, okay, there's lots going on here. So we've got an alternate dust jacket on the reverse of the dust jacket, which actually has the author name and the title on the spine, which is one of my favourite things. And that is also, oh, this is all designed by Mistletoe Art. So there's also a alternate cover actually on the hardcover case, like printed on. And this has foiling, and again, very, very dark and gloomy. It's hard to see any of the details, but it does look really freaking cool. So, I will say my edges have got like some staining on them. I know this happens sometimes with the spray if it's not like perfect, but it's like a big brown blob. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's a big brown blob, and then when you actually open the book you can see that the big brown blob is like encroaching on the pages a little bit, which is a shame because it's not just on the outside, and it's not that it's just on top of the spray. It's actually gone through the spray and into the story, which is a bit sad. And I also don't think it's signed. It doesn't seem to be digitally signed or have anything, which is unusual. Yeah, that's very unusual. That's fine though. We'll read the blurb, see if it sounds like a good book at least, even if it is a slightly disappointing design. The blurb. I was born with the fever, my blood dark as night. An ancient mercurial spirit is trapped inside Elspeth Spindle's head. She calls him the Nightmare. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, she is thrust into a world of shadow and deception. Together they embark on a dangerous quest to cure the town of Blunder from the dark magic infecting it. As the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The Nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. One Dark Window is Rachel Gillig's stunning debut novel, a gothic fantasy romance about a maiden who must unleash the monster within to save her kingdom. I'll be honest, I don't even feel that interested in the story. It sounds more fantasy than dark, and it, like, looking at the design, it seems like it's going to be a really dark story, but then that doesn't really sound that dark to me. But I'll try and withhold judgment. I haven't read it yet. It might be darker. I might just be being pedantic. But I do understand the comments that I've seen, because it's very unusual for FairyLoot to do a book without the stenciled or the digitally sprayed edge. It's very unusual for them to do a book that hasn't got a signature, not even a digital one, not even a book plate. And I don't know if there's a reason for that. Like the author might have chosen not to. But it seems like a bit of a disappointment. And I also feel like it's not the best way of selling like a debut novel, because if people kind of grow entitled to the fact that they're going to get signatures. So then it becomes a bit of a disappointment when they don't. And for this to be a debut book, and for them to have had some like really big authors recently who have been doing signings, and then to have a debut that hasn't, it's a bit of a shame. But I'll still give it a go. I'll still see how it goes. I'm more excited about Princess of Souls. That's much more to my taste, both the design and the story. Oh, I really like the socks. So the socks are a win. It's just everything else that is a little bit of a letdown. Let us move on to OwlCrate, and hopefully nothing in here will be broken, because otherwise my disappointment will just go from bad to worse. And also, this is the first one of their boxes that has ever come through Hermes. For some reason I actually had like shipping updates and a picture when it got delivered, and I've never had that before. So, if anything, I would be expecting it to be in better condition. So we have the spoiler card, which is for the prompt A Study in Shadows. Again, won't look at that until I need to refer to it for any of the fandoms or the artists' names. This is the thing that was clinking. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's broken, which is good. This is a Zodiac Academy ID card case. To open, unclip the keychain and slide the plastic piece apart. Insert your ID card, replace the top plastic piece and hook the keychain back on to secure. I mean, this is actually pretty sick because we've just started using scanny badges at work, and I haven't been using mine because we haven't been given lanyards. So I haven't been using mine because I've been too nervous about losing it. But I'm thinking, like, if I had this with the scanning card in it, clipped onto my belt loop, and then could, like, scan at my hip, that would be really cool. And my manager has said as long as it's, like, a case, like a lanyard or a card case, somehow, you are able to have whatever. So that would be proper sick. So I actually have a use for this. If this had come last month, I would have been like, I don't really have a use for that, but I actually do now. So I'm quite excited by that. And that is Zodiac Academy, inspired by, and it's just designed by Team OwlCrate. So that's pretty cool. And also, I think that's the first box that's done anything inspired by Zodiac Academy, which is one of those books that is gaining a lot of traction online, but I still haven't seen anybody really talking about it in real life. I haven't seen any special edition sets apart from possibly Bookish Box, I think. But yeah, that's really cool to see. We then have some kind of something else that's rattly. Okay, I don't think anything is broken. We've just got some rattly items. So this is the Alexandrian Society Scientia Cadis Est. So I'm guessing this is inspired by the Atlas 6, because that is the Alexandrian Society. I might be wrong. I'm saying that with way too much confidence. Dun, 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 dun. It is, and it's designed by Paperback Bones, and it is an Atlas 6 inspired bento box to make the most mundane of meals magical. Oh yeah, so we've got a spoon that says Alexandrian Society. We have a fork that has a sword on it. And we have a knife, which is a little bit of an odd shape, but has, like, moons and stuff on it. This is really cool. Oh, I could use this. It's very unique. Also, it smells amazing. I don't know if it's supposed to, but, like, oh, it's going to smell even better once I've got food in it. That's exciting as well. Ooh, it's a good month this month. Then we have a little kind of pouchy thing. Oh, it's a purse. Like a wallet, I guess. Is this a glasses case? Oh, I'm being really dumb. It's a glasses case. That's really cool. You can justify anything if you do it poetically enough. So this is inspired by If We Were Villains and is designed by Janine Lacour. I'm a bit surprised that they put a glasses case in, because I can imagine there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I don't have glasses, so that's a waste for me. But, like, you can use it on sunglasses, and you don't have to use it for glasses. Like, you could always put, like, little bits and pieces that you're trying to keep safe in here. It's quite sturdy. Very good that it's got the magnetic clasp, so it will keep anything in there protected. I'm not the biggest fan of the design, because with the material, it looks a little bit kind of blurred. But it's handy. I've only got one glasses case, and it's not the easiest thing to, like, put anywhere because it's, like, really heavy and really chunky. So this is quite nice, and then if I decide to put my glasses on, I can just fold that down, fold that flat, slide that in, nice and easy. First time I've ever had one of those in a book box. That's something I can say for sure. Ooh! Oh, it's, OwlCrate Classics collection time. I didn't realise that we were having another one of these this month. So this is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is the third book that they have done. They've done Pride and Prejudice and Frankenstein as well. And again, I still really, really love these designs because they're mostly black and white, but then you've got the real small dose of the colour through it. And it just gives it a nice little pop, and I'm really a fan of it. If you look the right way, you can see that the whole world is a garden. I read The Secret Garden when I was, like, much younger. Also, they've still gone with, like, the floppier design. The first one was, like, so stiff that you could barely open it, so I'm glad that they're still going with the floppier design. But yeah, I read this when I was, like, much younger, and I can't remember much about it. It's one that I've wanted to reread, so this is a good excuse. And they are designed by Rena Illustration. We then have a bookmark that says Beauty is Terror, with, like, this Roman column that's been a bit destroyed, and Ex Scientia Altio, From Knowledge Comes Vengeance, which has a candle and a pomegranate. I have no idea what that's inspired by. The favourite quotes from A Lesson in Vengeance and The Secret History, and it's designed by The Bitter Season. I don't know if it's just compared to FairyLoot, because FairyLoot didn't have much, but this feels like it's got so much in it. We've got the 10th of the literary luggage pins by Hey Atlas Creative. I really love the designs that Cade has done on these. So I'm excited to see which fandom has been picked this month. Oh, Stay Away from Gallant. Oh, I've actually read Gallant. That's nice. It's not often a book that I've read. It says the big G on it. Oh, that's like properly spooky. That is a good pick for the October badge. That's really cool. There's something about these literary luggage pins that I just absolutely adore, and I really hope that they do a second series, because I'm not looking forward to those coming to an end at the end of the year. And then last but not least, we have the book, which is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. And this must be... Oh, it says OwlCrate exclusive signed edition. They've got Oswald's face down there on a little sticker. That's cute. That's new. But this must be an exclusive cover, because I cannot remember seeing this book in my life. And this is like exactly my aesthetic. I am excited to get this opened up. So let us open this up and have a look at what it's about and what's going on in here. Wow. Oh my god, okay. So this is the original cover. And it has like this, I think it's either lilac or lavender, with all of these skulls in it, which looks a bit like thrillery. It's quite a standard cover, but then this is just so freaking beautiful. He was a paper moth in the dark and she was a light. Oh, I've actually got chills. That is beautiful. Okay, so we have end papers. We have a signed page. We have a foil stamps on the hardcover. This has got to have been Paperback Bones. Tessa's got to have had something to do with this. So this says Non Omnis Moriar, and it has like the pomegranate with the skeleton hand holding it and some beautiful flowers. And then we have Malus Navis, which is like a lighthouse and a moth. So that's beautiful. And then we've got alternate artwork under the dust jacket as well. So they're like sat reading together in a library, which is really freaking cool. And I love her hair. She's got like purple tips on her hair. That's amazing. So let's find out what this is about, shall we? Oh yeah, it actually says, hang on. Okay, jacket art and foil case by Tess Medovich at Paperback Bones. Jacket design by Michelle Gray. Reverse jacket art by Kiv Bui. And end pages by Off the Hook Studio. So, big shout out to Scholastic Press for actually putting that on the bit underneath the author bio, because that's very, very cool. Let me just quickly refer to this and see if there's any more information. No. Oh, yes. Off the Hook is Lindsay Hook. So we'll make sure that that's all on the screen for you with all the bits that they designed. And let us go. Delaney always talked to the dark. She never expected it to talk back. Delaney is tired of being seen as fragile just because she's deaf. So when she's accepted into a prestigious program that trains students to slip between parallel worlds, she's excited for the chance to prove herself, but her semester gets off to a rocky start as she faces professors who won't accommodate her disability and a pretentious upperclassman fascinated by Delaney's unusual talents. Colton died when he was 9 years old. He woke several weeks later at the feet of a green-eyed little girl. Now, 12 years later, Delaney has stumbled back into his orbit, but Colton's been ordered to keep far away from the new girl and the voices she hears calling to her from the shadows. Delaney wants to keep her distance from Colton. She seems to be the only person on campus who finds him more arrogant than charming, yet after a student turns up dead, she and Colton are forced to form a tenuous alliance. But Delaney and Colton discover the cost of opening the doors between worlds when they find themselves up against something old and nameless, an enemy they need to destroy before it tears them and their forbidden partnership apart. This is like exactly my aesthetic. All of that sounds fucking amazing. Oh my god. Okay. I've literally never heard of this book before, so I'm assuming that it hasn't been published in the UK and that it hasn't been picked up over here. But like, holy hell, I need to read this soon. Ah. And then we also have at the bottom here the OwlCrate, Owl Babble. And then we have the theme for next month, which is the Dark Heart of the Forest. And I'm pretty sure I know what book this is going to be. And also every November box includes the 2022 reading planner designed by Paperback Bones. And I love the reading planners, so I am excited for next month already. Oh, it's going to be hard to beat this. You want to know, like, the UK is in a bit of a weird place at the moment. Like, our, the pound has fallen a lot, and like financially we're all kind of struggling. So OwlCrate is now like over £50. And Sean and I said that as soon as one costs over £50 we would stop subscribing. And then OwlCrate have been just smashing it so much this year that we are continuing to subscribe even though we really shouldn't. It got to like £48.50 and we were like, next month it's going to go over 50 and we're going to have to cancel it. And then this month was like £53 and I was like, no, it's not even a question. Like, I need the reading planner and I just really like these boxes, man. Like, there was a while when I kind of fell out of love with OwlCrate. But I am so deeply in love with them once more. Because this is just like, oh, it's so good. I love the darker themed boxes. I love the dark aesthetic. I love the kind of dark academia theme that they've gone for with this whole box. Like, I am a very happy girl right now. And now we're moving on to Illumicrate, who absolutely blew me away last month. They put these stunning plates in, and I've been using those plates basically daily. It makes my breakfast so much happier. I have my croissants on this little plate, and it just, oh, it brings me so much joy. I am such a spooky girl. So nothing's going to beat that box for me, but will this be good enough to beat OwlCrate? We're going to find out. Ba-cha-chum! Let's see. Nervous. Oh, punch in a book. Well. I'd forgotten they were putting something in this box and I was so mad at myself for being nervous. So this is From Beyond Death. And again, I won't look at this until I need to refer to it for the artist. Because I want to look at my Strange the Dreamer blanket. Oh my god, I completely forgot that they were doing one of these. This is designed by Yoshi Yoshitani and inspired by Strange the Dreamer. And Strange the Dreamer is one of my favourite duologies of all time. I absolutely love it. I've read it and cried to it twice. So I think if I ever read it again, I would cry again. And I'm so happy that this gets a blanket, because if you've been here before, you'll know I'm a sucker for the blanket boxes. I love the blanket boxes. It takes a very special box to lose on the blanket month, so be interesting to see what's in the rest of this box. Pa-cha-chum. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my god, and it's so soft. Oh, I'm taking this to my parents' house later. I'm just going to curl up on my Strange the Dreamer blanket and have a good old time. Oh, it's got the big, like, seraph, and it's got all of the moths, and oh my god, it's so pretty. I love it. I was a little bit nervous because I wasn't sure what they were going to do with it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like just quotes, but I like blankets with designs and I like Strange the Dreamer. I'm very happy. We then have some paper. Oh no! Things have gone rapidly downhill already because it's time for the next Mythology Teacup and Saucer set. I am not a fan of these. It's just personal preference. When I drink a cup of tea, I want a big cup of tea, and these teacups are more decorative than useful because you could get about half a mouthful of tea in one of these. I am excited by the design because it's Hades and Persephone this month, and I love the myth of Hades and Persephone, but yeah, she's got like the flowers and the pomegranates, and he's got the bones. But just not really feeling it, which is a shame. I know a lot of people absolutely love these, and they think they're a really great collectible series, but I'm just not a huge fan. I've got a feeling they're designed by Niall C. Grant. Let me see if I've remembered that right. Yeah, Niall C. Grant, who is a very talented artist, don't get me wrong. It's just these are never going to be the item for me because, as I said, the bigger the mug, the better. So a tiny teacup, they might work for the babies when they're a bit older, when they want like a little bit of tea but don't like it that much. Oh, I like the saucer a lot more. The saucer's very beautiful. It's got the pomegranate at one side and the skull at the other side, and it's foiled. So the saucer is very appealing. I could always use that as like a jewellery dish, like a trinket dish. And I always complain when I get trinket dishes in because I don't have that much use for them. But that's a really stunning design, and that's a bit larger than the trinket dishes, so I could use that. But that has kind of like stolen my thunder a little bit. Next up we have a cable tidy set. I think this is the first cable tidy set that Illumicrate have done. I know OwlCrate did one to celebrate Link's Edge, and they were designed by the author. And these are inspired by In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. So we've got the daggers, we've got the little poppies, and we've got the skulls. Again, I love the aesthetic, but I don't really have a lot of cables because I just use the laptop and I don't have like a desk. I don't have anywhere that I'd really be able to use these. So they're not the most useful items for me personally. But I might be able to use them as some kind of decoration because they are very beautiful. And these are designed by Stacey McAvoy-Caunt. And then, because we don't have the paper craft kit, it means that the next item I have to show you is the book of the month. So, we are getting through this very quickly. This has some black sprayed edges. Ooh, I see some pretty stenciling. Ooh, pretty flowers. Ooh! It's the Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. This is ridiculous. I've never heard of that book. Normally I work it out based off of the spoilers as well, but obviously I just didn't do that or forgot I'd done it in October. Uh-oh. So we won't read out the blurb on this one because quite clearly we already know what this book is about. But we have some absolutely stunning end papers. We have some gorgeous pink foiling on the hardcover case. We have... Oh, Illumicrate, you are spoiling us. We have... Under the dust jacket artwork with the author's name and the title on the spine, and it's very beautiful. So that is nice. Like, I like OwlCrate's Under the Dust Jacket artwork, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't have the title and the name on the spine. But this does. It's very pretty. And this one is signed. So clearly this has been picked up by a UK publisher, and I just completely missed the fact that it even existed. And now I have two utterly stunning editions of it, and I really hope that I love it as much as I think I'm going to, because the story sounds like something that I will love so much that when I finish it I will be so grateful to have multiple copies of this, because I'll really love having them on my shelf and having that collection. But that remains to be seen because I haven't read it yet. Well, that was an unexpected twist. The reversed dust jacket artwork on the Illumicrate edition is by Avondale Art, and the end papers are designed by Rostottir. So they're very beautiful end papers. I really like the end papers. There's like mice being like impaled on spikes, and there's spiders, and there's little berries that look like they're screaming. Like, oh, this is a spooky girl's dream. So, who is going to win? That's a pretty easy to answer question, actually, because it's pretty obvious that it's going to be OwlCrate. I love I love this blanket. If Illumicrate had just put this blanket and the book in the box, they probably would have won it. But I'm not a fan of the mythology mug, the mythology cup and saucer sets. So I don't think a single box that's included one of those collectible pieces has won for me. It's unfortunate timing because with the missing paper craft, that gets them extra points because I don't like the paper crafts. I liked In the Ravenous Dark and I love the aesthetic on those items, so that gets them extra points. Already really excited about the book, so that gets some extra points, but then the cup and saucer set, just take it away. FairyLoot's hardly even worth remembering. I'm already struggling. It was called One Dark Window, but I already can't remember the author's name. Rachel something. The Howls print was okay. I like the socks. I like the little box. More excited about the second book, but nothing there to get me excited. But OwlCrate smashed it, man. Love the glasses case. Really, really handy. I like the wooden bookmark. I like the design of the new cover that they've done for the Whispering Dark. They've smashed it this month, and as I said, like, it's exactly to my aesthetic. So for some people who love the mythology cups and saucers, that's going to be exactly to their aesthetic. So this Illumicrate box would be a massive winner. Personally, for me, doesn't do it for me. So, congratulations, OwlCrate. You have regained your title as champions. You've been doing pretty damn well this year, from what I can remember. We had a comment last month asking if we could tally up the winners, like how many boxes each company had won throughout the year. So there will be graphics on the screen letting you know that, because Sean has just said that he's going to get it done. It's just we haven't had a chance to go through it yet, so I am unaware at this moment in time, but I will educate myself and then I'll know for next month, so that our November book box battle can be even more tense, because we'll know who's pipping who to the post, and if there's anybody who's really far in the lead, if they're all pretty balanced, because I think they're all going to be pretty balanced this year. I know Illumicrate have been kind of struggling, but they've still won a couple of boxes, and OwlCrate have been smashing it compared to normal, but FairyLoot, always really great as well. So I'm having a wonderful time. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, we'd be super duper grateful. I am Alyce. This is the Bumbling Blogger. We will see you again in a couple of days with another video. And thank you for watching. Please let me know which your favourite box was, which box you think should have won, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. Let's have a conversation, and we'll see you again soon. Bye! So, just before we go, the reverse